how many sales did you have to have in New York in order to take the broker's license? Because you said it was sales one
Yeah.
time.
So it has to be, it's a certain amount of points, and then they apply points to different transactions. They actually apply more
Mm,
points to the buyer side or the
really?
rental agent side of the transaction, which is interesting. They don't give you as many points when you're listing or when you're working with the landlord. They give you more points when you're working with the customer. Um,
Okay.
but it was my first year and I had nothing but customers. I mean, very few people were trusting me to list properties. I did get good listings towards the last 6 months of my first year,
Yeah.
but I went in like with guns blazing. So I don't remember how many points it is, but let's say you had to do like 40 transactions. I did that my first year.
Wow.
And so I went, took the test, and they're like, well, you don't have the 2 years in though.
Right.
So I waited, I took the test, I passed the test, but I had to wait 2 years to actually get the broker license. And the reason why it was really important for me to do that was because I was working on my own. I was working independently. I wasn't on a team. And even though I was, we're very new to real estate, I was an entrepreneur. I was a businesswoman already, you know what I mean? And all my clients were my beauty clients. And so I just didn't want the image that I put out there to be like, oh, she's new, because so much of real estate is relationships, life experience, and just wisdom, and
Right.
personality and
Yeah.
negotiability and like just how you do what you do. And I just didn't want to ever look like a newbie with that stuff
Yeah.
because I had, my footing and I was still learning a lot in real estate, but I was like, no, I'm a broker. So I got that right away. And so I became a broker in 2017. And at that time I had started working with Compass. I worked at Corcoran for less than a year, loved it. But Compass was starting and I loved their technology and they were heavily recruiting. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll consider, going there. I got recruited by the founder of Compass, Rob Refkin, and it was just such a, he doesn't take no for an answer. So
Well, that's good.
I was like, is this what I'm doing? I guess I'm doing, whatever. But it was a great experience. I loved it, and I worked there for years, 5 years. And I would say like around 4 years, I started to feel like, okay, I've kind of got this under my belt. Like there's so many other voids in my career that I need to kind of like fill those gaps.
Yeah.
Um, and I just started interviewing with everyone. I was like, okay, I'll just see what other brokerages have to offer. And at that time, I had become like one of the top Black brokers in Brooklyn
Yeah.
and got recognized for it. And I felt like it was a really good time to leverage that and see what else was out there. So I
Yeah.
interviewed with everyone.